We're now going to look at formatting techniques of spreadsheets. We're going to go to our L1 spreadsheet folder and we are going to open a workbook called Basic Text Formatting 1. Just search for that in our folder. Right, what we're going to do is actually click on the contents of C13, which says total sales, and we're going to embolden the text. Now we can either do this by clicking on our home button on the bold icon here, or we can use Ctrl+B. And that will have now made our actual item bold. We're also going to make the D13 bold as well, and we can do the same thing again, or this time I'm going to use Ctrl+B to embolden it. Now what we're also going to do is make the items from D4 through to D12 bold. Now we can either do this individually or we can select the range. So I'm going to select the range by clicking on D4 and then holding my shift key and then clicking on D12, and then I'm going to click Ctrl and B, and I've now emboldened that whole range. I'm also going to make the range from first name, which is B3, through to D3 bold as well. So I can either click on, if I want to make the whole row emboldened, so that means that if I put any stuff into, any data into the system along these lines, I can actually have the whole line emboldened. Or in this case, I'll just click off that row. I'm just going to highlight the range from B3 through to D3, and I will click bold. And once I've done that, I can actually then save it. Now I'm also going to make the names italic. So to do that, I will actually click on the range from B4, hold my shift key down, and then click through to C12. And as you can see, this has highlighted my range. And to make it italic, I can either press Ctrl+I, or I can click on the italic button. I'm going to do that. And that has made my text italic. Next thing I'm going to do is click on C13 and I'm going to underline it. Again, I can use a shortcut with my keyboard, either using Control and U, or I can click the underline at the top here, and I'm going to click underline. And once I've done that, I'm also going to do the same thing for total sales. This time I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut of Control and U to underline it. I click out and you can now see that both of these items have their underlines on them. Now that I've done that, I'm actually going to save my document. So I'm going to click on the Save button and close it by pressing Control and F4. Right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new worksheet called Basic Formatting 2, and I'm going to click on that and open it. And as you can see, we now have a new folder, and what I'm going to do is alter the font type. And I want to do this in the row that has first name, second name and number of sales made. Just click out of that, and I'm going to highlight this range. So I click on B3, hold my shift key down through to D3 so that those are highlighted. I'm going to go to my home button, and I'm going to look at my fonts here, and I'm going to click on this arrow that is here, and that will then give me a list of various types of fonts. And in this case I'm going to choose Arial Black, but just so that you can see what happens as I move my mouse over my different types of font faces, you'll notice that the actual font that's been highlighted changes. And we can do that to any style, but we're going to choose Arial Black in this case, and I'm going to click on that. And I'm also going to change the font size now, so I'm going to click out of this, and I'm going to click on total sales and on D13, which is including the actual answer here. And to change my actual font size, I'm going to go to my font size number, which is here, and you'll notice there's a little arrow, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose a new size. And in this case I'm actually going to choose the font size of 14, and I'm going to click on that, and then I'll click outside, and you'll see that this has actually changed those. I'm also going to change the font colour as well, so I'm going to highlight this area again, so C13, hold shift key down, and D13, and I'm going to go to my font colours. You'll notice that this is here. If you notice at the moment there's one that's actually in red. If I click on this little arrow here, it will bring up a palette of colours, and I'm going to choose a blue colour. So there's different types of blues. You've got sort of darker blue range here, and there's a lighter blue range here, but I'm going to go for this mid colour just here. And once I've done that, I click outside my selected area to deselect it, and I'm going to actually click on the save button and then press Ctrl F4 to close it. We're now going to look at formatting cells using currency symbols. I'm going to open my workbook called Currency Formatting. I'll just scroll down and find it, click on that and open it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the home button, and we're going to select our first cell that we need to format with our actual currency. Now, first one is 4C, and I'll highlight that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my numbers here, and I'm going to choose currency. And as you see, it automatically converts it to English pounds. Now, I'm going to have to actually change the next one to a different sign, and that's going to be in euros. So I'm going to click on that, and to actually find my currency, you've got accounting number format here, and if I click down, you can actually see that we have English UK, English dollars and euros, and I'm going to choose euros from this one. And on my last one, so I deselect that, I'm going to click on the currency tab, and just here I'm going to go for more accounting formats. And in there, you'll notice at the moment it's on accounting. I'm going to click on currency, and here we have something that says symbols. And what I'm going to look for is I need to look for Australian dollars. So I'm going to scroll down until I find my Australian dollars, and it's under English Australian, so I'm going to click on that and then click OK. And as you can see, we now have 3 formats of currency, one in pounds, one in euros, and one in Australian dollars. Once I've done that, I'm actually going to save this, and I'm going to close using Control F4.